Cara and Sarah will be friends for life, but what bonds them almost broke them. They both dated the same man, and they'll never be the same. With fears other women could join their club, the sisterhood wanted Jay Hart out of the country, taking that request to the top.
I should never have met Jay. I should not know who Jay Hart is.
But she does, intimately, and so do 8 other women who claim he stalked, harassed, abused, threatened and scared them.
I went to police. I now know that several other people after me have. What are you waiting for? A body in a bag?
It's a torture they still live with, and one the government can do something about.
I'm scared. I've moved homes. I've gone interstate. I have taken as much precaution as I can to protect myself and my family, but I won't stop until he is deported.
Sarah Fardy only knows Cara Greedy because they share a similar past, a former relationship with Jason Hart.
He would be cooking me dinner while I was at work.
He was just really fun, charismatic, available.
You know, I sort of thought, this is almost too good to be true.
Jason, or Jay as he's known around football clubs, is a talented striker from the UK. He's called Melbourne home for the last 5 years.
It's been such a good season. I love the team, love the boys.
Jay's been soaking up the best of Melbourne, going from visa to visa and club to club, all the while keeping secrets from the women he dates, leaving them to start a petition to try and remove Jay from the country.
I started the petition because I met another one of his victims, and her story really, really shook me. I thought my story was bad, but what happened to her was worse.
Cara believes she's the first woman Jay seduced when he arrived in Australia.
I'd just come out of a relationship. I was in a pretty vulnerable state.
Within a month, things turned sour, and Cara says Jay began drinking excessively.
Just the abuse in the messaging, it really just horrible things I'll never forget about my appearance, about never being able to be loved. You know, things that will sit with me forever.
When Cara ended the 4-month relationship, she was bombarded with messages and calls.
He was outside my apartment on his bike, yelling from the street.
On Christmas Day in 2020, it escalated.
He said, "I know exactly where you're going to be today and all of your family, and I'm going to come and I'm going to kill you." And I just remember turning the stove off and getting an Uber to a police station on Christmas morning alone, having no idea if that's even something that he's capable of.
Cara now has a lifetime family violence intervention order against Hart.
And so I've lived for 4 years wondering when he's going to be drunk enough and high enough to go through with it.
Just as she was piecing her life together, she got a call from police to say Hart had been bailed.
It's brought right back up to the surface in the most disturbing way. What has this person done?
More than a year later, Sarah swiped right and met Hart on a dating app. They entered a whirlwind romance. He moved in with Sarah straight away.
What did you think of our signs?
I like that one. Don't mind a bit of a tot.
At 4 weeks, it started to really unravel.
Hart kicked it off at her 40th birthday party.
Making a real scene in front of my entire family, calling me names, screaming at me, abusing me, pointing his finger in my face in front of my entire family.
Was that the first time you saw a flash of the real Jay Hart?
Yes, absolutely. It was terrifying. It was terrifying.
A tracking device was found in her car.
He was just always monitoring where I was. That's probably the most disturbing part.
When Sarah attempted to kick him out of her house, she says Hart threatened self-harm.
He would lock himself in the spare room with knives. He would threaten to take sleeping tablets and never wake up again. It was daily.
Later, she learned he'd been using her car to sleep with other people.
And I still have to have health screens now to make sure that I haven't got HIV.
Sarah's petition to deport Hart has been signed by more than 3,700 people. And the evidence she put to Immigration Minister Tony Burke was enough for him to do something about it.
I really wish I'd known about this earlier, because the history lends itself to the conclusion that every extra day he's been on the streets in Australia has been a day that women in Australia have been at risk. Once it got to my desk, I dealt with it that day.
Within hours of the minister's signature, Hart was arrested by the Australian Border Force and placed in detention.
I've weighed it up. I've decided he doesn't pass the character test. It's time for him to leave Australia. If this guy's got citizenship in the UK, he can go back. He can go back there. And he can get on a plane, and until he's on a plane, he can be in a detention centre.
The minister called Sarah himself to deliver the good news.
The relief in her voice was like nothing I've heard.
It's their pain and their bravery that could now lead to law reform.
I am conscious that there have been some cases that have come to me that haven't moved as quickly as I've wanted them to, and I am very open to working through if we need to toughen up the laws to be able to provide maximum safety for women in Australia.
I wish I'd never met him, but I'm pretty sure he definitely wishes he'd never met me.
Guaranteed, Sarah, and I hope he's thinking about it right now, locked up in detention. You won, girls, so be proud. And if you or someone you know is experiencing sexual abuse or family violence, there is help. Call 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732.